Mr. City Clerk, would you give, I'm sorry, Mr. City Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor McClinton,
Present.
City Attorney Stevenson. Here. City Treasurer Suter. City Treasurer Suter. Councilmember Bruce. Councilmember Bruce. Councilmember Cat.
Here.
Councilmember Croom. Here. Councilmember Harris. Councilmember Harris. Here. Councilmember Hope.
Here.
Councilmember Hutchinson.
Here.
Councilmember Muhammad. Councilmember Muhammad.
She here.
Yes. Councilmember Monday. Councilmember Monday. Councilmember Murray. Councilmember Murray. Councilmember Wheelis.
Here.
Okay,
7 out. We got 7 out of 10 present. We got a quorum. We're gonna go to bid openings. I'm gonna ask you all to remove the new storage building from the A&P. I think it's excessively overpriced. Can I get a motion and a second to remove that?
Second. Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Can I get a motion and a second to refer the bids back over?
Make a motion, we refer the bids back to administration for disposition.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Those have been referred back. All right, we're gonna go down to minutes. Councilman Kent,
If I may, Senior City Clerk has already corrected any changes that were there and has emailed them to everyone.
okay. Councilman Croom? Sure. Mm-hmm.
Is that one you're going to consider, is that one that's going to be opened also?
Yes.
Okay, now, I may ask, Mr. Rose may be able to answer my
The
question.
chief here.
Well, it has to do with grants to pay for this stuff. I know we're talking about, you know,
Excuse me, Mr. Croom. Let the record show reflected that Councilman Murray has made it. All right, go ahead, I'm sorry, Councilman Croom.
but Chief, if you'll come up, just want to ask a couple of questions. Wait till he gets up there. I know this is already in your budget to do, under the capital outlay, but this is going out to the fire station that's out on College Boulevard. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. The other question I had was in the funding. Do you think that there might be some grant money available for that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This training facility will be funded by a grant.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay.
The American Rescue, if I remember correctly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, chief.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief.
Can I get the motion and second to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Those minutes are approved. We had no old business. I do have a resolution I need to add. So I'm asking, I get a motion and second to add this resolution on the condemnation.
So moved.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Mr. City Attorney, would you read, R1?
Mayor, if I may, make a motion that we suspend the rules and read title only on O1 and R1.
Sure. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. City Attorney?
All right, this is a resolution certifying the condemnation and removal of houses, buildings, and/or residential structures constituting a nuisance within the city of West Memphis corporate limits.
Here in that rec, can I get a motion
So
and a
moved.
second?
Second.
Let me give a brief update about that. What we are doing here in the city, we are going through trying to revitalize West Memphis by tearing down dilapidated structures, especially in residential areas. What we are proposing to tear down 28 properties that are 16 is in Ward 5, 5 of them is in Ward 4, 6 is in Ward 2, and 1 is in Ward 3. Also, I have already approved for to start with board ups, and it's going to be 26 board ups throughout the city. Just making the properties look better. But those homes that's going to be boarded up are homes that could be rebuilt, or investor may go in and buy them and get them refurbished so that people can move in them. But these other homes that we're asking to be condemned are homes that are the structures are dilapidated and need to be torn down, and it's going to be a good part for the first quarter of the city. So that's the update on what we're doing for trying to get this resolution approved. Was there any other discussion about that? I think I spoke with everyone except one council person about the home within their ward, and I think they're all fine with everything. So can I get a motion?
Excuse
second?
me.
Go ahead.
Excuse me, Mayor McClendon.
Yes, ma'am.
On that, I never did get a chance to see a list. I know we talked, and I appreciate you so much for telling me the ones that are in our ward, but I didn't get a chance to see a list of all the houses that are going to be torn down. Did we get that? I didn't see it in my package.
Yes, you do have. Yes, it was emailed by Miss Patricia to you all, the whole list.
Okay, but see, I don't have the city. My computer is in repair right now, I think with Miss Lola, and I did not get that on my personal computer.
Oh,
Are there any businesses or building businesses that's on that list?
no, ma'am. All these are residential
All these-
homes.
it's
All
residential
residential, and it's five in your ward and Ward 4.
Right. You and I talked about it. Sure, I had no problem with that whatsoever, and I do appreciate you going forward, especially with that board up. On that board up, is it going to be something painting on those boards similar to what we've done on Broadway, just plain boards as we typically do?
Well, actually, in the residential ward, Paul did speak with me about there is some type of designer boards that they can get on houses, but that's pretty much going to come back down to funding. But right now, at this time, we've just scheduled pretty much just to board them up
Regular.
properly, and keep in the kids or anybody that may be going in them. Just keep everything decent on that property.
I understand. Thank you so much.
All right. And that list is, I think it's in your personal email, if you're able to take a look at it.
She must have sent it yesterday because I didn't see it in my email.
She just sent it
Oh.
She just sent it to you this morning.
Oh, okay. Then I haven't looked at my
And
email.
I will have
today.
your copy here at City Hall too, whenever you get by here. This weather get better, I'll make sure I give you one personally.
Right. I'll look at my personal email. So I haven't checked it out this morning. School was out, so I was kind of lounging today.
All right, thank you. Was there any other
Thank you.
discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Mr. Clerk, will you get that resolution, a number, please?
The number's 2267. 2267.
That resolution number is 2267. We're going to move down to 01 ordinance. Mr. City Attorney, will you read that one?
This is an ordinance waiving competitive bidding for aerial spraying, ground spraying, and other mosquito control efforts and for other purposes.
Hearing it read for the first time, could we suspend the rules and place it on the second reading? Can I get a motion
So
second?
moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. City Attorney, second reading.
This is an ordinance waiving competitive bidding for aerial spraying, ground spraying, and other mosquito control efforts and for other purposes.
Can I further suspend the rules and place it on the third reading with a motion second?
So
Make a
moved.
motion that we-
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? City Attorney?
This is an ordinance waiving competitive bidding for aerial spraying, ground spraying, and other mosquito control efforts and for other purposes.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
Second.
And I just want to give a quick update. This Vector, the company that we've been using for years, there's no price increase on here, so everything is going to continue to be the same. And we just want to move forward. We probably should have had it a little earlier, but we had some conversation about it, so that's the reason why we're reading it out. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Mr. Clerk, would you get that?
Ordinance number 2597, 2597.
2597 is the ordinance number.
We were at City Hall.
I'm gonna go to permission request. I have only one permission request, and I need to get that added on here. It's permission, Ms. Tori Perry at the utility department need to destroy the 2016 document, something we do every year. So I need to approve it, I guess, approve it to the agenda first, and then you all nominate council person to oversee it. Can I get a motion and second to approve it?
Motion to approve it to, or add it to the agenda.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, now we need a good citizen to oversee it on the, thank you,
No,
volunteer.
I'm not volunteering. I'm not volunteering.
Councilman Crowe.
I've got a really good, solid recommendation. David Murray lives closer to that place.
When's the date for that?
We're making around the time that you is available. All right. Can I get the second on Mr. Murray?
So moved.
Second.
In discussion, Mr. Murray? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
Lucky joker.
All right, congratulations, Mr. Murray.
Normally, it would have been Mr. Bruce, but since he's in a boot, he gets the break.
Okay,
Yeah, he gets a break. He's on the boot.
all right.
Clarification, we had Anne Marie made the motion to add it. Do we have to have another motion and a second to approve it?
We did.
Okay, can I get a motion and second? Hold on. Councilman Crowe nominated.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
You're doing both, okay.
Okay.
can I get a motion and second to approve Mr. Murray?
So
Oh,
moved.
so moved.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right, Mr. Murray, you officially it now. All right.
It's about 12 hours' work.
Now you can double dips on it. Yeah. All right. Committee reports, Mr. Wheelis, Councilman Wheelis, I'm sorry. Public Works. I think you're on mute.
Public Work, yes, sir, we met. Mr. Wheelis has the report.
Mr. Wheelis?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Okay. Did you call me Mrs. Wheelis?
No, Mr. Wheelis, Councilman Wheelis.
I'm messing with you. All right, I'm gonna do this the best I can with what I got here. So the Public Works Committee met yesterday, first of February, 2022. The call to order was Miss Lorraine Muhammad, the president. James Holt, council, Ward 1, was present. Willis Mundy, Ward 5 council, was present. Councilman Wayne Croom from Ward 3 was present. John Reck, Evening Times. Steve Jones, Mayor's Office. Charles Wheelis, Ward 3. Amanda Hicks, City Engineer. Mr. Bonner, Public Works Director. Colleen Hensley, Public Works Coordinator. And the approved minutes from the January meeting. And we approved minutes from the January meeting the 4th. Public Works Director, Mr. Bonner, discussed new business. He said he needs to buy some dumpsters, and the rate increases at approximately 25% need to be applied. West Memphis is underpriced compared to Waste Management and the Republic operations by a large amount. We need to place quite a few dumpsters out that are worn out. Mr. Bonner spoke of this issue. He asked that we converse this with the council and get their approval for him to do this. And then they had the fleet report that said the front end loaders, we had 3 operational, none down. Rear end loaders, 4 optional, none down. Operational, none down. One-armed bandits, we got 1 operational, none down. Grapple trucks, there's 5 operational right now. The Public Works Coordinator, Ms. Hensley, said that they recycled 600 plus tires last month. Amanda Hicks, the city engineer, spoke about the RJN proposal to perform consulting engineering, their engineering services, condition assessments, technical memorandum for OK Street Ditch, Auburn Ditch, and Ditch 12 watersheds. Also, Rich Road Bridge has to be rebuilt according to RDOT. Code Enforcement Officer Mr. George Phillips wrote 56 posts last month. 19 were inoperable vehicles and 15 to be towed. And he said he had a general cleaning around some dumpsters at several restaurants too that he took care of. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Councilman Williams.
Thank you, Mayor.
Also, I want to add the second one-arm loader has arrived. And let the record reflect that City Treasurer Suter is on the Zoom. Fire Department?
Yes, the fire department met briefly after the last council meeting, elected a chairperson, and the meetings will be scheduled for the third Tuesday of each month at noon here at City Hall.
Did any other committees meet?
Budget committee.
Budget, okay.
Yeah, hold on just a second here. All right, let's see. This would be the first budget committee meeting we've had in 2022, and the committee consists of Charles Wheelis, Councilor Wheelis, Councilor Mohammed, Councilor Bruce, Councilor Holt, and we also retained Councilor Catt for a transitional training liaison on the budget committee. The first nature of business was to elect a secretary, and Councilor Holt nominated Councilor Mohammed, and she was approved by the committee, so Councilor Mohammed is the budget committee secretary. The second item of business, which was reviewed, and that was the current financials. Now, I'm only going to read. I wasn't coming in this morning, but then I had some audio issues, so I decided to come in but I'm just going to read the year-ending numbers from the Southland Casino and Racing tax collections. The year-ending, the budget was $4.6 million, and actually was the Southland collected $7.9 million with some change, and that was 172% above budget, and which means that we received $3.3 million more than what we had budgeted for the tax collections at Southland Casino and Racing. On the sales tax, the city year-to-date, the city was 11.3 million. I'm not giving all the extra numbers there, over, this year, which was 1.2 million over last year, which it was an increase of 1% over last year's actual. And then the county, the city 1.5% sales tax, was 8.6 million, and that was a little over $1 million over budget, which actually was 13.32% over last year's budget year to date. And then the county tax was $2.6 million, which was higher than last year or over last year. And it was an increase of $257,000, and it was for the same period last year, which was 11.6% over budget. A&P tax collections, excuse me, were a little over $2 million for 2021, and which was $101,000 over last year at the same time. It was an increase of $660,000 over the same period last year, which was a 49% increase in A&P tax collections. And let me see here. We also had a outstanding debt service. We decided to start looking at it periodically, but not all the time, just periodically. As of December 31st, the airport bond issue is still open. The principal remaining is $2.3 million. That's with Bancorp South, Capital One, the municipal buildings, the 2 fire stations, and the courthouse. The principal remaining is a little over $11 million. Fidelity National Bank has the sanitation carts, and the remaining principal is about $215,000. And the bank OZK, Counselor Tracy, Kat, if you know what that stands for.
Oh, the Ozark Bank.
Ozark, okay, Bank of Ozark. That was a bond, a utility bond, and it is basically the same because we haven't used any of the money yet. So you can see that the bond for the utility was $29 million, and that's the debt that's outstanding from the city. But what we see in the numbers this first month looks pretty outstanding to us as far as the debt ratio part of it. The third item of business was to discuss what's practical and obtainable for the monthly financial reporting, at which the committee reviewed a couple of templates, and the main thing was to follow our protocol as it is laid out for our city, and where the city clerk and the treasurer report on the monthly financials at each one of our meetings, and we're working on that now. The commission members, I know the majority of the commission members attended the Zoom meeting yesterday for Finance 201, and that's a second-level class under accounting and finance. It also brings 5 credit hours to each individual that attended. And I'd like to say we all attended, but I'm almost certain that most of the commission attended. Other with that, Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman Crum. I also attended that meeting, and those numbers sound real good. Seem like another year in the black.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
Excuse me, Mayor McClendon,
Yes, ma'am.
there should be in the package a survey from the Parks Director wanting each council member to give their suggestions and highlight things that they want to see done in the parks. Ms. Patricia placed it in the packages. There were no explanation given with that particular item, but if you see it in your package, that's what it is. It's from the Parks Director, Mr. Parker, and he'd like for you all to give feedback on what you would like to see done in the area parks, and just turn it back into the city clerk's office.
Yes, ma'am. We have that in the package. You all have it, because I know we have it. Mr.
Councilor
Crum.
Mohammed,
Right, but that's what it's for. Thank you.
I actually filled that out and emailed it to Mr. Parker.
Oh, well, that's great. Thank you. That is an option if you wanted to do that, or give it to the city clerk's office.
Okay.
Was there any other discussion on? Thank you. Ms. Muhammad, I know you just went over parks. Was there any other committee that you need to go over?
No, Mr. Willis went over the Public Works, and of course, the dumpster items were discussed in our Public Works meeting, and we saw that it looked pretty good, but upon further discussion, we determined that it was just done through, the quotes were gotten through some kind of an internet source. City attorney has not had an opportunity to look at the contracts or anything like that, so no action can be taken on that at this time at all. And Mayor McClendon, I think you and I talked about it briefly yesterday as
ma'am.
well.
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's a good thing since our dumpsters are real worn out, but right now we'll just have to wait a while.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Was there any other committees that met? Next, we're gonna go to appointments. First thing, I want to talk about utility department. Okay, budget.
I just want to add on to what he's, of course, talking about the clerk's report, what we're going to do is pass out a copy of budgets where we're looking at like work in progress. And next, the second council meeting, we'll pretty much go over it. And if any of you have any questions, you can write your question down and we'll try to address them at the next meeting.
I had that's one of the two templates that we actually reviewed during our commission meeting, but
Okay.
I forgot to bring that template with me, so.
If you all could give me a copy of that template as soon as possible. All right, no, I didn't have one in here. All right. Back to the appointments. First, the utility department, the utility committee has an opening available. I just wanted to make you all know of that. If you all have a resume of someone you think that may fit best on that committee, please submit it, get to Todd or myself, and we'll make sure that you all submit it in so we can get another individual on that committee. Second is we have an airport commission. Like I said earlier, that a little over a month ago, close to 2 months, Councilman Kate gave me a resume of Mr. Brian Reeves for to be considered for that committee, as well as I would say a few weeks ago that Kendra Suter with the and she said the airport commission has recommended Mr. Bill Morris, but we only have one opening on that committee, and I passed it out for you all to see it, but I would turn it over to Mr. Cat. I think he probably wanted to ask for consideration of.
Yes, sir. Mayor, like I say, it was almost 2 months ago. Each council member received Mr. Reese's resume, and we failed, or it just kind of slipped in the cracks about following our procedure, which should have been 2 weeks later. I know at that point in time, we were looking at what positions were going to be available, but then we didn't pick it up the next 2 weeks. So I was going to ask the council today if they'd go ahead and please consider his nomination for the airport commission.
Excuse me, Mayor, since we did fall through the cracks, I think we should wait and do protocol and wait for the next 2 weeks to look at everything again, Mr. Morris and Mr. Brian Reese, and take a vote on that at the next council meeting. That's my recommendation.
Thank you.
Also, let the record reflect that Dr. Bruce has made it to the meeting.
I made a motion. If it dies for lack of a second, it dies.
Okay. Is there a second for Councilman Kat's motion?
Repeat that motion?
Motion that we consider Brian Reese for the appointment to the airport commission.
Make second.
We have a second. Mr. City Clerk, will you call the roll?
Councilmember Bruce. Councilmember Bruce.
I didn't hear you. Yes.
Yes, Councilman Cat has made a motion to elect Mr. Brian Reeves to the airport committee. So that's the vote right now.
Okay. Yes.
Councilmember Cat.
Yes.
Councilmember Croom. Councilmember Croom.
Pass for the moment.
Councilmember Harris. Councilmember Harris. Councilmember Hope.
Yes.
Councilmember Hutchinson.
Yes.
Councilmember Muhammad.
Pass. Well, I'm going to say no because we slipped through the cracks, and I think we should just wait for 2 weeks before we do anything on this measure. I mean, whose fault is that we didn't approve him 2 months ago? So I'm going to say no.
Councilmember Monday, Councilmember Murray, Councilmember Whaley,
No.
what did you say? Okay.
No.
Yeah, four. It's 4 and 4. 4 yes and then 4 no.
That's like,
Well, it dies.
What-
Yes, it fails. It's 4
No,
to
but
4.
do we not get, if we pass, do we not get a recall? You call, come back to us for a vote?
I mean, sure.
Okay.
Councilmember Cone, would you like to vote?
Well, actually, I know both of these guys, and I do respect Councilor Mohammed's suggestion, but I'm going to vote yes.
Uh,
Councilmember Harris, Councilmember Murray.
Motion fails. In 2 weeks, we'll be back with both of the gentlemen in 2 weeks.
Can I say something? When you have something, you bring it in, all of it needs to be filed in the clerk's office as well. And that'll avoid a lot of this. Like when you bring something that needs to be on this agenda, it needs to be filed in the clerk's office. That way you won't have to worry about it getting through the crack. That's where it's supposed to be filed in the first place.
Were there any other announcements? Go ahead.
Okay, what we're trying to do is making sure that we get, all the information we need before the minutes, dealing with the different commissions. So what we're doing, we're developing a form. When you're ready to have your meeting, we wish you come by the clerk's office, pick that form up to go along with your report as well. And after the meeting's over, we appreciate if you come back and give Ms. Lane the recorder, she can dump it in and you take it with you.
Can't hear him, Mayor.
Yeah.
His microphone's not on or something.
Okay. What we're doing, we're developing a form in the clerk's office, so when you have your commission meeting, you can come by and pick up the recorder in that form as well. And once the meeting is over with, you need to bring that back to the clerk's office along with the recorder, because we have to dump the recorder, because we have to keep that recording for 1 year. And then when you can take it home with you, and that way you can do your minutes and bring the minutes back. But we have to take the recorder because we need to, she need to download it, and therefore we have to file it. And you can take the recorder with you and come back later. And that'll help us, stay on track with what we're doing, because a lot of you not bringing your recorders back. So we appreciate that.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Councilman Crowe?
Mayor, while we've been in council, I've got a couple of messages wanting to know about garbage pickup tomorrow. Is there going to be a garbage pickup tomorrow?
Well,
Just asking.
well, let me say this first. The sanitation is out today, and in these dangerous weather, I want them to be as cautious as possible. Hopefully it will, but if the roads ice up overnight, I can't guarantee that. As mayor, I definitely have to look at what's in the best interest of my people at the sanitation. So we're gonna try to utilize it, do it the best we can, and I just hope the people of Westman be patient, with us on that, because trash is important, but the safety of our workers is
Understandable.
definitely. Also, I want to add, was there anything else, Councilman Crowe? Also, I want to add, first off, and since we're on it, I just want to say this real quick. I truly want to thank our police officers in the top brass police department, our EMTs, as well as the fire and their top brass. Matter of fact, our fire department was just out today helping a hazard 18-wheeler that turned over. Our street department that's out working on our streets, as well as our sanitation who is out. Our utility department, I want to thank Nick, Patricia, Steve, Kenneth, Dwayne, Director Rose, Jim Jackson, for all of them that came in. This is a dangerous time for our city. And I just want to tell them thank you all for putting that effort forward. That's from me, the mayor. And that's why I'm here in the office today, because I think it's so important. If I'm going to ask them to come in and work, I think as the leader, I should make sure that I'm here in the office. So I am in the office today, and I just want to say thank you, guys. I appreciate that really so much.
Mayor Clinton,
Yes, ma'am.
There is one other thing that Mr. Wheeler's left off of the report. I don't mean to interrupt you. Have you finished with yours? Because I don't want to disrespect
No,
you.
I got a few more.
Okay, and then if you'll recognize me, I would appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. So
Thank you.
once again, I ask the people of West Memphis why they have to make sure that they're safe, please. And it's this weather. If you don't have to be out, please don't be out. Second, I was going to ask for a motion and second to add the giving of our charity days to the agenda. I get a motion and second for that.
Add your distribution.
Yeah, and then I'll add it, and then I'll open up to any other council person that may want to give out.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? It's added. I want to get $700 to Gem Ministries. I mean, $750, I'm sorry. $750 to Gem Ministry. They do have the 501c3 and everything in, so Ms. Tora has all of that. Is there any council person that have any giving that they want to do at this time? Hearing none. All in favor, aye? Opposed? Opposed? It passes. Thank you. And the last thing, I want to invite all the city council and all of you here to the Civic Center this Tuesday at 2 p.m. as we swear in our new police chief, Chief Robin Campbell, and welcome here to the city of West Memphis. Ms. Muhammad?
Yes, sir. One other thing we discussed in our Public Works meeting, and when you said something about the sanitation workers being out braving this cold weather to try to keep our city clean, we decided that we are going to honor the Public Works department for our Black History celebration this year, and hopefully we'll have that ready for the last meeting of the month, which is going to be at 5 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am, we definitely will. Were there any other announcements? When I get down to citizen request, Mr. Roger Brown, he's supposed to have been here, but due to, I know the last meeting we changed it, so he was here today, that we changed it back, and then this day, due to the weather, he was unable to make it, so we'll replace him back on the agenda at the next council meeting. Is there anyone have anything else? Well, let's brave this weather and get home, and all you all have a peaceful, snowy day.
Motion to adjourn.
Can I get a second? All in, Mr. Mayor. All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Goodbye. Thank you.